Opera GX, the world's first gaming browser, now hosts a brand new platform called GXE, where you can play games for free and share your own creations with the millions of gamers that use Opera GX. The new Opera GX Target in GameMaker Studio 2 allows you to upload your games for free to GXE with just one click, giving you the platform you need to showcase your talent. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to set up the new Target and upload your game to GXE DevCloud. So let's get started. Now make sure that you've downloaded Opera GX, as you will need it to run your games, and that it's set as your default browser. Making it your default browser isn't required, but it'll make it much more straightforward to open your games from GameMaker. You also need to make sure you're on the latest version of Opera GX by clicking on the Opera icon, going into Update and Recovery, and clicking on Check for Update. The version number shown here needs to be this one or higher. Let's now start using the new Target. You can open GameMaker Studio 2 and go into one of your recent projects, or create a new one. You can then click here to open the Target's menu and select the new Opera GX platform. You can now run the game through this button, and after it's done compiling, it will open in your default browser. So before running it, you'll want to set Opera GX as your default browser, as that is where you'll be able to play your game. If your default browser is set to something else, you can just copy the link that opens, then open Opera GX manually and open it from there. You will now be able to play your game directly in the browser. Below your game, you will see a Toggle Console button, and clicking on it will enable the output log for your game. Here you'll be able to see any messages that you print using the Show Debug Message action or function, and any errors that your game produces. Now, when it comes to the Opera GX Target, the name of your game is important. This can be set by going into Quick Access, then Game Options, and double-clicking on Opera GX. The name shown here is used to uniquely identify your game on the GXE platform, and it links your GXE DevCloud project to your GameMaker project. This means you need to make sure to first set a unique name here before uploading your game, and to not change it here without changing it on GXE DevCloud as well. Because if you update your game's name here without updating it on GXE DevCloud or vice versa, it will end up creating a new GXE project with the name given here. Now we're going to upload our game to GXE. You can click on this Create Executable button to start the upload process. If it shows an error saying the game is already running, you simply need to click on the Stop button here, and then click on Create Executable again. You will now see this window where it will ask you to sign into Opera, so you need to click here. Then on the Opera site that opens, you need to create a new account or sign in if you've already done that. You can also make use of these social buttons given below to speed up the process. After you've signed in, you'll be taken back into GameMaker Studio 2. You may see this page in your browser, but you can simply close it and move on. Back in GameMaker, your game will now start compiling. And once it's done compiling, it will start the upload process to GXE. After that is done, you should see GXE Upload Succeeded in the log here, and a new Edit Game on Opera button at the bottom. Clicking on this will take you to the GXE DevCloud website, where you'll be able to edit your game's details. If you weren't able to open this from GameMaker, you can manually go to dc.gxe.gg, log in, and select your project from here. Once you've opened your project on GXE DevCloud, you'll be able to edit your game details. So now let's go through them one by one. This is the title of your game, which should match the game name given in your GameMaker project and should be unique across all of GXE. This is the short description, which shows under your game in various listings. And this is the long description, which shows on your main game page and allows for formatting so you can make it as pretty as you like. Here you can upload the cover art, which is displayed on your game in all listings. You'll need to upload both 4:3 and 16:9 versions of your cover art. However, you can simply upload the same image and crop it right here to make it fit with the aspect ratio. Then you have the gallery, where you can upload images and videos, keeping in mind the file type and size restrictions given here. If you upload an image that's not the correct aspect ratio, you'll be able to crop it right here to make it fit perfectly. You can also drag your images around to rearrange them in any order you like. Next, you have the genre tags. So you can select up to 3 genres that best describe your game. For this example, I'm going to leave it at platformer and puzzle. Finally, you have the age rating, which you can set based on the contents of your game. This example is suitable for all ages, so I'm going to select that. Now to save the details that you've entered, you need to click on Save and then Confirm. This will make your changes visible on your game page on GXE. You can now continue on to the publishing section, where you can manage both the private and live versions of your game. When you upload your game, it will first be visible here as a private version, so this means the game isn't currently visible anywhere and can't be played. You can then enable this option here, which will show you a shareable URL. You can copy and share this link to allow others to play your game. So on opening this link, you will be taken to your main game page on GXE, where you'll have your gallery and your description. Here, you have a big Play Game button, and clicking on this will run your game in full screen mode. Of course, you need the correct version of Opera GX to be able to run the game. If you're on Windows, you can press F11 to close the game and return to GXE. On Mac, you will need to press Escape. Back in the publishing section, you have a Promote to Live button next to your private version, which is used to submit it as a live version of your game so it can be discovered and played by gamers on GXE. Once you have done that, you can enable the Published option here, which means your game is now discoverable on GXE. Do keep in mind that if you haven't set some game details correctly, you will not be able to publish your game. To fix this, simply go back to your game details, fill in all the information, such as your descriptions, images, tags, and age rating, and click Save. Then try enabling the Published option again, and your game will now be live. You can copy the shareable URL given here to link directly to the live version. So this is the new Opera GX export, which allows you to seamlessly test and publish your game to GXE. You can now go ahead and test it with your projects and create new games for the platform. You can also follow our Fire Jump and Little Town tutorials to learn more GameMaker tricks and become the best GXE creator. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.